What's good, Atlanta? This is What's Good Atlanta, breaking news and breaking down the stories that really matter. I'm Mark Kendall.
And I'm David Perdue. Each week, we'll run down uplifting or even unusual headlines from the universe known as Atlanta, as we all try to find a little something that's good. Mark, what's good with you this week?
You know, David, last week I got to go to the home opener for the Atlanta Dream. It was a great time. We lost the game, but it was a close game. They played great.
Yeah.
I was excited to see it. Art Lennox performed at halftime. 2 Chainz was courtside. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. I'm looking forward to the season and where it goes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what about yourself?
So, speaking of that day where I saw you last week, I was leaving the show, our comedy conversation, around the Young John Lewis play that's happening at Theatrical Outfit.
Yeah.
I got to see, a sneak peek of Young John Lewis, the play, and I'm like, got to get tickets.
Yeah.
Got to get tickets. It'll be, I think, a month. It'll run for a month. Theatrical Outfit, amazing space. So I encourage a lot of people to go check out Young John Lewis. Those a lot of Atlanta-based actors. I want to say that too. They're Atlanta-based. Everybody there is from Atlanta, and so man, a lot of talent there. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. All right. Let's get into the headlines you might have missed. Here's what's good with the news this week.
All right, so last month, a semi-truck carrying more than $800,000 in dimes was in an accident on the highway and rolled over, spilling millions of coins. Now, if I had a dime for every time I've heard this story, I'd have 10 cents. But it does remind me of that time a couple $100,000 in cash flew out on 285. David, do you remember where you were that day?
I just want to say first, why did this truck have all my ex-girlfriends? That's crazy. Ladies, you got to get out of the truck. No, I do remember where I was. I was somewhere trying to get on 285 very quickly. I just remember seeing the videos of all of the money, and I just remember thinking, like, that's going to change somebody's life just because they're in traffic. It's the one time traffic paid.
Yeah,
you know?
Right. It's a one-time traffic paid. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you remember where you were?
You know, I don't, and I'm just kind of still distracted by the dimes joke, so,
Sticking with currency, the U.S. Treasury recently announced that they will stop producing pennies in the next year. Officials are defending the decision by saying that a single penny costs 3.7 cents to produce. But Mark, we are losing a staple of American culture. Can we share a few things that we're losing with the disappearance of the penny?
Oh, man. Well, David. Now we can no longer say, I like to offer my 2 cents. That's a phrase that won't exist. People can't pinch pennies anymore.
Oh.
And especially during these times, that's something people need to be able to do.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've hated everyone's 2 cents, so I'm actually okay with that part. Being on. There's never been someone giving me 2 cents. I've never liked it.
Yeah.
So that part I'm okay with.
Yeah.
The thing is, I feel like we're missing, when nobody's having a lot of foresight, is how are we going to wish at wishing wells?
Right.
All wishes are gone.
All wishes are gone. That's how, 1 out of 8 romance comedies start.
Yes, you're at a
well.
well.
Making a wish, starting things off right there.
You're not going to wish on a quarter?
No.
You need a quarter.
You need that quarter.
You definitely need that quarter to go in a vending machine.
Absolutely.
Pennies were for wishes and getting smushed into weird, collectible items.
Right.
That we got at, various amusement parks.
Amusement parks or sidetrack or whatever it was. No more Honest Abe.
What about the candies, Mark?
Yeah.
Penny candy?
Right.
You're just a candy now. That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
That was the last thing everybody older than me could complain about.
I mean, it's like how you would learn how to count a lot of times. You're like,
100%.
Here's a penny, it's worth 1 cent. Here's a nickel, or 5. A dime, worth 10 cents. A quarter, 25.
Yes.
People having to start at nickels?
Also, we're not thinking about this enough. Abraham Lincoln had 2 homes. He had 2 homes.
Yeah.
He's down a home.
Right.
Poor Abe.
Yeah,
he had 2 houses.
Yeah. Bring the penny back.
It's not hurting anybody.
It's not.
It's not hurting anybody.
I mean, real question. So, how will people do an exact change now? Are prices having to change along with that?
I better not see 1.99 anything.
Right.
Because you can only get to certain prices with pennies.
But now does that mean everything is going to cost a penny more? It's just $1 now.
Round it back down.
Yeah, you got to bring it down to 90 cents.
95.
Bring it down to 90. Yeah.
You can work in increments of 5 and 10s.
Right.
And I better not see no more 99.
Yeah.
That's not a thing anymore.
Man.
You didn't think about that. Down in Hapeville, Hartsfield-Jackson has just unveiled a new fleet of plane trains, which will begin rolling out in early 2026. Mark, to get some insight on the impact of these trains on arrival times, let's bring in Curtis with traffic.
Honks and beeps in the roads and streets, it's traffic with Curtis.
Hey, Curtis.
Dr. P.
You know, I'm not mad at that one. Okay, let's keep it moving now.
I'm trying, David, but I'm stuck in traffic right now. So as you can imagine, it's illegal for me to do so.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, we should just get you in the studio sometime.
I never make it in time. I don't think you understand. I'm going to be in traffic tomorrow, the day after that, the day after. It's my lot in life.
I love your commitment. Okay, Curtis, what can you tell us about the new plane trains at the airport and how will they help people arrive to the destinations more efficiently?
Well, David, I got some good news and I got some even greater news.
Oh, love this.
But I'm going to start with the bad news. The plane train is not actually a plane shaped as a train. So if you get into that plane train thinking like, wow, I got to my gate much early. Usually you have to go to an actual gate, but all I had to do was go through security and get into the plane train. I thought I'm on my way to my next destination. That's not how it works. I never knew that. I thought plane train was a train-shaped plane.
I didn't even, you know, that's the one.
And I know I wasn't the only one that was confused because I looked around when we weren't going in the sky. I'm like, does this thing ever go in the sky? And they're like, that's a good question, you know? Because I'm thinking a new plane train. So I was just like, maybe the old ones didn't do that, right?
Interesting.
But these, they don't go into the sky. The good news is it's a new design and it's more efficient, blah, blah, blah.
This has been Traffic with Curtis.
Dr. P.
Honks and beeps in the roads and streets, it's traffic with Curtis.
Thanks, Curtis.
Fantastic. So after a quick break, we'll be right back with this week's top story.
And now, back to the news.
All right, so this week's top story is something we've touched on, but it's time for us to break it down properly. All right, the MLB All-Star Game is headed to Atlanta next month.
You know it. We're excited. I'm excited and still waiting on my invite. MLB, I'm talking to you.
All right, so David, any favorite All-Star Game memories you're bringing into this year?
All right, so I remember last time, I believe it was in Atlanta, I remember going to the Futures game. And I was very excited about that. So that was cool. It's on personal memory.
What year would that have?
I want to say 2000. It was 2000. So I was like, I think I was probably 13. My dad took me to the Futures games, which was very exciting. I mean, I have a tradition, like me and my brother and my dad, we go to like a chicken wing spot and watch the home run derby. Like there's a lot of memories that I have around the All-Star game. But as I got older, I definitely love watching the celebrity game. One, it's cool to see people who don't do a thing, but secretly, as I got older, I'm like, whose hamstring's gonna hurt the most tomorrow?
Right.
That's why I watch it for. I'm like, who's pulling up with the hammy because they were trying to, go in the gap and like get a, catch a ball. Like it's like somebody's always putting on way more effort than they probably should, or the public's like, hey, just go out there and make an appearance. And somebody's like, no, this is my ticket to the league. They're gonna see my talents and I'm gonna do it. And I'm always looking for them because I'm like, you're gonna hurt tomorrow.
You remember the like MTV, what they call them, like the Rock and Jock games?
Yes.
You like every one of those games, Nelly was like auditioning to be whatever sport he was in. He was the one, he would go on hard.
He was. But here's the thing, Nelly actually got drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals. So he actually was a solid baseball player. He's in high school. Yeah. That's always fun to find out who actually could play. You're always surprised by somebody. You're like, wait, I thought you were just like an actor. It's like, nah,
no.
I actually ended up like the dude who plays, I don't know if he's probably not from Georgia, but I found like the last dude who played like the TV version of Superman. He's like a college baseball, like great player.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, baseball.
Yeah.
It's super cool. But the All-Star game specifically, I love the Futures game. I love the home run derby. I love when people bring their kids to the home run derby. And well, I will say there was a thing that made me feel very old because Vladimir Guerrero, who played when I was younger, and I remember there's a picture of him and like his son at the, he's at the home run derby. And then now his son is also in the home run derby. And I'm like, oh, my knees hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm seeing children of people who I watch play. The other day, I saw a video of Detroit Tigers great Cecil Fielder's grandson.
Wow.
And I was like, I saw Cecil Fielder play at Tiger Stadium when I visited my family in Detroit, and his grandson is on TikTok hitting home runs. And then my knees hurt again. A lot of knees hurt is what the All-Star game means to me.
David, I think we should help out the All-Star game and offer a few ways to make this year uniquely Atlanta.
I agree. Let's do it in a Top 5.
Top 5.
All right, so David, I love this idea, right? The All-Star Game is a chance to welcome baseball fans everywhere into our city. So how can we, as Usher said, take the world to the A?
All right, so this one's a no-brainer. Obviously, every player should, every day they wake up, have an All-Star breakfast from Waffle House. I feel like this goes without saying. Like, you better not get a continental breakfast. You better not get any kind of, if you're an all-star, guess what? Knock at your door. Sir, it's time for your all-star breakfast.
Yeah.
Everybody should have all-star breakfast for starters.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
I feel like this is going to show my gaps in knowledge with baseball.
Okay.
But I know you have like different base coaches.
Yes.
To be doing the signals and things like that.
Yes.
Have Usher be doing the signals.
Come on.
You know what I mean? He has great hand gestures from the Peace Up A-Town down to the Watch This. Have him be like, I don't know, like a third base coach for the game.
Mark, because I'm a baseball guy, I'm going to let you know, these coaches don't do anything.
Okay.
They don't, I mean, they're really pretty much just there to look nice in uniforms.
Yeah.
They put the signs up, but I feel like at this point, players do what they want.
Yeah.
So you can put a number of coaches out there.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, who's that on third? Is that 2 Chainz?
Yeah.
It is.
Well, then they should be doing that.
It
they
is
should be
2
doing
Chainz.
that then.
Yeah, like we could do anybody.
Yeah, man, look at us creating jobs for the MLB All-Star Weekend.
Yes, with people who probably don't need the job, but we'll give it to them anyway.
Yeah.
2 Chainz is doing fine. He's on TV a lot.
Right.
But we'll give him a job.
Yeah.
Another thing I think that they can do at the All-Star Game, play with the rules. Right? Play with the rules to make it Atlanta specific.
Right.
Like definitely have people rollerblade to first base or like skate. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like we're known for skating. Like, man, be like, hold on.
Yeah.
Why is it somewhat concrete at first base? You don't got to run no more. Take the cleats off. Skate on the first base. Make it real Atlanta. Go roll bounce.
Yeah.
You know, straight to first base.
I say, I mean, if we're going to be changing rules, put in a halftime.
Put in a halftime.
Put in a halftime, make some room for a halftime performance. That's
Yes, you got the field to do it.
Yeah.
So you should do that. I like that. I like that. All right, finally, and I think this might be the most important thing that we should do as far as like an Atlanta-centric remaking of the All-Star Game is bring it back to Turner Field. Bring it back to Turner Field. Right. That's just a me thing. I've only ever seen an Atlanta All-Star Game in Turner Field. I'm not saying it won't be nice at Truist, but I would like to bring it back to Turner Field as it is.
Yeah.
Meaning I want them to play in a football field. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool. Oh, did you hit the home run? I don't know. But it did hit the field goal.
Right.
You know? I just want to see that. I like a little chaos.
Leave the field goals up.
Leave the field goes up. Let's see what they can do. Let's see if they're real athletes.
Yeah.
Play around that.
And David, I'll also add, maybe, that way you can take Martin to the game.
Brilliant.
Y'all, this has been Top 5.
Top 5.
Okay, Mark, what's some good that you're taking into the weekend?
You know, David, I'm holding on to the pennies that I do have and sharing them with my friends. You know, they want to get rid of the pennies. Me and my friends, we're going to share pennies amongst ourselves, you know?
Love that.
Yeah. What about yourself?
I'm not sharing any of my pennies. They're clearly going up in value. All I'm hearing is the market is good right now. If you're holding pennies, it's your time.
They're going to have to redo, like, the DuckTales opening where Scrooge McDuck dives into, like,
You thought those
thing.
were pennies?
No. Those were gold coins in my mind. But now, as the penny goes up, that's going to turn into, like, a thing of pennies that he's diving into.
Yeah.
Also, another thing about that, like, you shouldn't be diving into, like, a lake filled with metal coins. That should hurt.
Can we talk about how many children were probably harmed?
Yeah.
Attempting to recreate the DuckTales intro.
Yeah, that's not
It's like,
water.
oh, clearly I can dive into it like water, and then boom, your whole face is scratched up because of pennies.
Right.
And I know this because I was that kid. Yeah, very dangerous. Okay, y'all, don't forget, you can always send us a message at podcast@wabe.org and let us know what's good in Atlanta, be it breaking news or maybe just a bright spot at the Battery.
What's Good Atlanta is produced by us in collaboration with Cool Productions and WABE. Our executive producer is Scotty Crow with additional production by Matt Owen. Find more at wabe.org/What's Good Atlanta. See y'all.
True.
WABE.
So, y'all, if you're still listening, first of all, thank you. But also, we just want to keep jamming about this June 10th show we got coming up at Dad's Garage.
Again, another live What's Good Atlanta. It'll be an amazing time. We have amazing artists. We have Teresa the Songbird. We have John Good. And we have music from David Ryan Harris. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm looking forward to everybody. But John Good, he shows up to all of my shows that I do. So I'm excited to have him, on a show. Like, he shows up to support. And now he gets to perform. And that's always a treat.
Yeah, David, we talk about this sometimes, but that lineup of artists, Teresa the Songbird, John Good, David Ryan Harris, all those folks, all closers, all headliners.
Yes.
But it's a lineup full of headliners.
If we may, whatever you're paying for this ticket, you should pay more. I want to be very clear about that.
Yeah.
But because we like you, the price is the price.
It's cool because it's like you get to see a variety show and a great venue with a bunch of cool acts, but then you're also seeing us do our live podcast thing.
Exactly.
And you get to be a part of it. And so it's a really nice night of community. So got to emphasize, get your tickets.
Okay. Well, look, if you haven't got them already, you got to go to wabe.org/events. That's where you can get the tickets.
Fantastic. We hope to see you there.